Hello everyone, my name is Builds and I'm here to build stuff. And today I'm building up to a story that hopefully tells you how this bike is to ride. I've owned it for a year now and I'm gonna share my experience with it, and hopefully you will get something out of this. Maybe you are planning to buy an e-bike for yourself and thinking about the options, and I hopefully I can bring some advice. This bike is RadRhino 6 Plus. This is the European cousin of the Red Rover 6 Plus. This is exactly the place where I actually assembled it a year ago. So if you haven't seen the video, go check it out. Thank you. If you only want to know the pros and the cons of this bike, you should just skip to the end of this video. But if you like to hear me storytelling and telling you more things about this bike rather than giving you just a list of pros and cons, then sit back, relax and enjoy. Or not, choice is yours. On the background you will see a video of me driving to my workplace. I have driven the bike on my free time a bit. For instance, I went to this dirt course just to test out the suspension and the tires and all of that, and I've clocked around 500 kilometers on it on my 1 year of ownership. It's fair to say I can post some kind of a review on it. Here you can see me going downhill. As you can see, I am getting pretty fast. Usually I just brake a bit because that's way too fast, but for the purpose of this video I wanted to test my limits and go as fast as I possibly could. Not doing that again, by the way. It was frightening as about the bike itself. I use it mostly for my trip to work, which is 13 kilometers from point A to point B. And all of you nerds and math heads there, you probably already calculated that it's 26 kilometers the whole trip. And after that trip I look at the battery, which is around half empty, half full. I would expect 2 full rides with the battery to my workplace, but I haven't tried it out because I have the luxury of having this garage where I can put it in the wall and charge it as soon as I get home. So the battery lasts for around 50 to 60 kilometers, and that is with the full pedal assist, and it goes from 1 to 5. I'm only using it at the 5, the highest level, because I'm a lazy boy. I just like to cruise around, just take it easy and let the bike do the work for me pretty much. It starts to show. Anyways, I think the battery is the most important part when discussing about electric bikes, because you want to know how far you can get. The battery is the one part that moves the bike. The second one is the motor that actually provides the power from the battery. It's pretty good considering the bike weighs like 33 kilograms. It's a heavy boy. I have done some research on the interwebs because there's been a lot of I mean me discussing with like a couple of dudes who happen to own one, discussing about the motor and the motor size or the power, the wattage that it provides, because it seems like the European version has a different motor than the one in America. That's because regulations and laws. The American version has 750 watt motor, and I believe this one has 250 watt motor, and I think there's one in the middle, like 500 watt version. With that in mind, I gotta say it works fine. It takes me everywhere I want to go. It does provide enough power for not me to get sweaty while I get to work, but still I feel it could use more power because, as I talked previously, it's a big ass boy. One thing I've noticed, there's a little delay when you start pedaling and the motor kicks in, and there's like the delay is something like half a second. It's not that bad, and I don't have any experience in other e-bikes, so I don't know if it's normal to have like a half a second delay when you start pedaling and the power kicks in. If you do know better, please let me know down in the comments below. But still, it's a minor thing. It doesn't really bother me. It's just something that I feel like I should mention. Delay in power output. Yes. There's the pedal assist. When you pedal, it gets you going. Then there's also the accelerator here. Can't see it from there, but I'm gonna show you a clip now so you know what I'm talking about. So this accelerator here, it provides some speed to the bike. Like when you're getting started, it will speed you up to 6 kilometers per hour, like from standstill to 6 kilometers per hour. It's useful when I need to walk alongside the bike. For instance, when I take the bike to the garage, I usually just hop off and walk beside it and press the accelerator just to get it over the hump. It does help you a bit to get going, like when you're in a standstill, for example, waiting in a red light. You can get going by just cranking it up. It doesn't accelerate fast, but it just gets you going. I've read it on the manual that you can use it to boost. That hasn't worked. Maybe it's because it's the small motor. Now that I've talked about the battery and the motor, which I think are the most important parts of an e-bike, prove me wrong, I should talk a bit about the bike in general. Like, how is it as a bike? For that I can say it's nice, in my opinion, in my experience. The handling is quite firm, it's stable, and that has to do with the benefit of the fat tires. They also provide softer ride, as in the front suspension forks do, so it doesn't really get hard on your hands. Talking about the rear, there's no suspension. The only suspension is it's your cheeks, your cheekbones, depending on how much of a cushion you have back there. It depends how hard it is to ride. In my experience, the saddle, it's okay, it's good enough. I mean, for at start I had some unpleasant feelings after a couple of days riding in the butt. Once again, that depends on the rider itself, but for me it's not bad. I can deal with it. I feel like my ass has accepted it as a long-time partner. Controls of the bike, I think it's pretty simple, pretty easy. There's the accelerator, there's brakes on brake levers on each side. It's a normal bike. Lights are okay. It's pretty neat that they come equipped as standard, so you have the backlight, the rear light, and then you have the light in front. It's good enough to let people know where you are going. And yeah, one thing I needed to fix when I got the bike, or when I assembled it and took it to test drive, I noticed that the first gear didn't really go in. All the other gears were fine, but the first one, it didn't just go. So that's something I needed to fix. It took some expertise, and by expertise I mean looking up at YouTube at some professional guy who's telling me how to do things and how to make it work. It took some trial and error, but I got it to work perfectly, and I haven't had any issues since. I've come to found a solution that gives you more top speed. That's an easy thing. You can change it from the menu, and I was surprised that I can actually bring the top speed of this thing up to 32 kilometers per hour, which is illegal in Finland. Seriously, since it goes 32 kilometers per hour assisted, then it's an illegal bike. I need to get an insurance for it, I need to register it. So for that reason I put it down to 25 kilometers per hour, because it's plenty fast.
These matches say you're lying.
Yeah, that's about it about the bike in general. Like the controls, the battery, the drivability, all that good stuff you're looking in a bike. And after all of those, I can say that it has been a good bike for me. I haven't had any issues with it, like big issues I couldn't handle myself. It seems solid, it seems like there's quality parts in there. There's probably some biker guy who's already laughing and trying to comment on this video how wrong I am. But I feel as a regular biker, I feel that the parts are doing their job just fine, and I expect them to last for years. That's my opinion after 1 year of owning it. Now in the video you can see me going uphill. The hill is pretty steep, like it's like, I don't have my angle meter here, but it's something like this. Yeah, it's pretty steep, and as you can see and probably hear, I'm gonna start panting. I have to go all the way down to the first gear, and I have to actually pedal a lot, because the 250 watt motor isn't really doing much for me. So now that I've pretty much gone through the bike and its features and quirks, I can list the pros and cons. If you skipped this part, good for you, no hard feelings whatsoever. But if you didn't skip and watch the whole video until now, good day to you, sir, or madam, or whatever it is you wanted to be. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. So pros. The price fits the bike, especially if you have the 750 watt motor version. I would still wait for it to be on sale because in my opinion 1500 would be fine. I think that would suit the bike much better. 2000 euros, maybe a bit too much, but still I'm happy. It feels solid. That's also a pro. It does seem like a quality bike. The most important part in my opinion is that it's easy and fun to cruise around. Gets you going easily, it's soft to drive, it's just fun to go fast, especially on uphill, like it's when it's a loiva, when it's not that steep. And the range is good. The range is solid for this kind of a bike, especially in this weight class, because it's a heavyweight bike. That is a really good way to get into the cons, because it's a heavy bike. Not that I can handle it, and the motor just works fine, and the battery it propels the bike forward, but still it's kind of a hassle to drag around. Like for instance, if I would want to take it with my car somewhere, I need to buy like a expensive bike rack for my car in order it to stay on it so it wouldn't fall, because as it turns out, when your bike weighs over 30 kilograms, it's kind of tricky to put it on the back of your car. I could put it up on the roof, but you can probably guess that's not gonna work. I think I would scratch the car a bit and my ego as well. So now that I think about it, I don't have many cons. So in conclusion, it's a nice bike. I need to mention that this is the only e-bike, the only fat tire bike that I ever have purchased or driven. So my opinion might be biased. You might have noticed that I've been talking about the big boy, the weight of this bike a lot in this video, and there's a reason. In hindsight, it would have been a smarter move to purchase a regular e-bike and ditch the fat tires. I could just use my old bike and install a DIY kit to make it battery powered. Maybe that's something I might do in the future, I don't know. That probably would have been fine, because I thought I would use the bike more during winter times. As it turns out, I'm not a fan of driving a bike in winter. So one could ask, did I really need a fat tire e-bike? And the short answer is no. No, I didn't need one. And that's a reasonable question to ask when you're planning to get an e-bike. Do you want a regular one or do you want a fat one? For me, the normal one would have been just fine. I think when you get a fat tires, it is more softer ride, but it gets heavy. But if you prefer the fat tires, if it doesn't matter to you if it's a bit heavy on the waist side of things, then I think this is a solid bike for you. This is not sponsored anyway, as you might have probably guessed already. I'm not that big yet to be sponsored in any way, so I'm just telling this as a man to man, woman, whatever. So that was my review on the RadRhino 6 Plus electric fat tire e-bike. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you agree with me, or was I completely off? If you want to help me get bigger on YouTube, hit that like button and subscribe, because I have more things coming on your way. So stay tuned, and thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers!